We started at the Commissioner's office probably a couple of years ago now, working on a plan for the new fairgrounds. With our buildings and the shape that they're in, we wanted to come with a plan that addressed all the buildings for the 4-H and FFA members, but also want to recognize the importance of rental facilities the other 51 weeks of the year. So our plan addresses the entire grounds. It's basically demoing just about everything that's here now and replacing with new facilities into the future. 15, 16 buildings that are here now, roughly, which includes the 4-H animal barns, the arena, the Coliseum, and a few other buildings as well. Eventually, they all will come down. We're going to do it in phases as we raise money and be able to do it that way, but we're going to about 3 phases to completely redo the fairgrounds over time. In phase 1, which we will start in 2018, will address the show arena and the livestock barns for that complex for the 4-H programs.
When we started, the idea was we need some new buildings and new facilities, but it always turns out to be a little more involved, a little more complicated than you originally think. And as Jay said earlier, with the infrastructure, the sewer, gas, all your utilities, they need to be addressed as well as the buildings. And with new buildings in this day and age, you have ADA compliance issues, you have stormwater issues that have to be addressed. So the total package, it's much more than building a building, and has taken quite a bit of effort and some thinking to come up with a total plan.
Change is the only thing in our life that is constant, so taking this project on is very, very large. There's a lot of things that have to be done in a very short time. We've been 5 months now since the previous fair, and nothing has been addressed about the fair. So we're looking forward to working with all the new board members and the existing board members to bring on the best fair and the best fairgrounds that we can have for a 52-week year.
You know, we've got a lot of problems with infrastructure, underground utilities, drainage, those types of things. So we need to address those, which is important. And then electrical services need to be addressed. So those utilities need to be addressed across the fairgrounds, and then the livestock buildings themselves are in pretty bad shape, so that's why we wanted to start there.
The survey is very, very beneficial, some really good ideas. It also helped to spark some enthusiasm, which is the basis behind this whole thing, the enthusiasm of the community. Most of that feedback, a lot of it was just restating the condition of the buildings and needed new facilities, but we got ideas like for the amphitheater, and which is turning out to be something very exciting and that we're looking at. But no, a lot of good ideas, a lot of positive input, and it was very welcome.
My main excitement is probably the new show arena, because it can be used for such multi-purpose. The amphitheater is a great idea to bring in music events and things like that throughout the year, and maybe we can tie some other events in the community together with our fairgrounds to make the whole thing a better experience for everyone.
This is where most of the barns are at this point now. They're going to be laid out a little bit of a different direction, but with the horse arena in the center and the horse barn to the south and the indoor arena here, show arena, hog barn and a cattle barn over here, small animal barns, chickens in the corner here. And leading up the hill is where the amphitheater is going to go to make use of that otherwise unusable space. We need steps from the lower ground up to the fairgrounds, so it's kind of a natural. And again, that was an idea that we just got from somebody filling out a survey at the fair a couple years ago. Again, this section here about where we are now is where the midway will eventually be, and then eventually the multi-purpose building to be used for different functions of a little nicer nature, so to speak. The Coliseum will be able to be used until that phase goes into play. This is a little closer view of where we just looked at the 4-H complex. Again, the amphitheater with the steps coming up, kind of the main entrance to this complex. Horse barn here again. Entrance over here. We're changing entrances to the fairgrounds. Going to have one out here at the end of Nicholas Drive, and a parking lot down there eventually. All that traffic study and all that has all been done. When we get into the multi-purpose building, that parking there and that entrance will be very valuable. We will have more camping places than we have now, and we'll have more parking by changing the flow and entrances a little bit.
The planning right now is on the facilities themselves. You know, what's the inside of these buildings going to look like to make it more rentable throughout the year. For example, we have different types of space. We have planned and indoor arena that's heated, that can be used year-round for multitude of things in a 20,000 square foot indoor arena. So we could hold everything from flea markets to home and garden shows to livestock shows and so forth. We also, for example, we feel there's a big need in our community for rental spaces for, say, wedding receptions or parties, graduation parties, and so forth. So we have a new 4-H leadership center design with 2 stories that has conditioned space that'll hold 250 to 300 people with a full commercial kitchen. So it's a little bit nicer space than it is over in the arena side. So we're trying to provide some variety of things that's rentable into the future. As far as events have gone, we've had some folks come to us say we'd like to hold this here or that here once we get them constructed. So we haven't got into that phase yet, but certainly we're keeping that in mind as we design these buildings.
You have county fair 1 week a year. What do you do the other 51 weeks a year, which goes a lot into the design, the layout, the traffic flow, and so on and so on.
There's a lot of excitement throughout the community. As I talk to people, there's nobody that says they don't want this to happen. There's no place in the county like it, and if we get it built right and do the right things for the community, it'll be a great place.